Hi everyone, welcome to the Color Combo Collab, where every month on the last day of each month, a small group of us participates in a color combination collaboration where we use Stampin' Up predetermined, I have selected for the whole year, 3 colors to use each month, and this is co-hosted by my friend Paige, who is Stamp Girl here on YouTube, and she is likely not posting because her craft room is kind of all torn apart right now. So anyway, but do go check her channel out because she's got lots of other good videos and things. So her link will still be below, as well as everyone else participating in the collaboration. So this month, our 3 colors were Seaside Spray, which is retiring May 3rd. I have a whole pile of this cardstock, you know, plus the ink and everything, and as a demonstrator I'm not supposed to use it after May 3rd, and I discovered something which I'll tell you about in a moment. This is Early Espresso, nice deep rich brown, and this is Gray Granite, which normally is my least favorite out of all the colors that Stampin' Up has. It's just, I like smoky slate. This brown gray one is not my favorite, but it goes well with these 2 colors, I think. Then the challenge is how to use them all together, as it always is, right? So I made 4 cards for you, and the first 2 use the same paper collection. The second 2 use a different one, and the second 2 are almost identical to each other. First 2 are different. So let me just I'll just get started. This is the first one, and it uses Hydrangea Haven papers, and let me just bring those up because this is the other thing I wanted to tell you. This paper is I believe is good through June 30th because it's in the mini catalog. I'm pretty sure I didn't write that on there, as part of the Hydrangea Hill suite. However, this color Seaside Spray and this color, which is Rococo Rose, retire as of May 3rd, and I'm pretty sure the Rococo Rose cardstock is already gone, but you can see it's in these flowers. Now this is Highland Heather, so that's okay, and this is Gorgeous Grape. This darker purple is Gorgeous Grape, so that's okay, and there's some Misty Moonlight, so there's still colors in here you can coordinate with, but you may want to use your paper, if you have the cardstock and inks and stuff, you might want to use this while you are able to get papers and stuff, is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, this is gorgeous paper. I'll be using some more of it before May 3rd, apparently, to use some of these colors and things up. Okay, so I used the Hydrangea Haven stamp set and dies, coordinating dies. This was originally in the January to June 2021 mini. It is carrying over to the new annual. I cannot remember if it's bundled in the new annual though, so if it was bundled in the January to June and you don't have it, you might want to get it. I used this stamp here, and I did use this splotchy one and the leaf coloring ones, and I have something stuck on me. Oh, one of my blings came off. Uh-oh. I might have to use the extra glue. I'm like, where did this bling come from? One of my flowers. Okay. So anyway, what I did is Early Espresso card base. I just took a 5 1/4 by 4 sheet of that paper. And I don't know if I have, okay, here, to show you what's on the other side of it. It's the one with the dark purple hydrangeas. I have, my hydrangea is supposed to be this color, but the past 3 or 4 years it has not done well. And I've tried putting stuff in the soil. Anyway, this is Seaside Spray. So I stamped this in Memento Tuxedo Black, and I just used this. Sorry for the glare. Let me turn that down and see if that helps a little bit. Not really. All right. I just used that on here, and then I did have some white showing, so I went around where the white areas were with my light Seaside Spray Stampin' Blend. These I did in Pear Pizzazz and with this here. And then this, I actually took a new product, which is called, this will be available May 4th. These are the basic border dies, and I used this one here, and I used it on a piece of gray granite, as you can see here, and just made like a, I don't know, a little area. And then I ran that through an embossing folder called the painty one. Trying to find it, and my computer's in the way, so I can't see. Sorry, I didn't have that still out. Here it is. Painted Textures 3D embossing folder to give it some texture. And then these, well, actually this I stamped in, that's out of Hydrangea Haven. The World is Better Because of You. I stamped it in Early Espresso. And then that was on about a 3/4 inch strip of paper. I used the Lovely Labels pick a punch, and that is carrying over. It's 152883. I used it on both ends on the fancy part of the label. These are out of the die. This die here cuts a bunch of little flowers, so I cut them in Seaside Spray, and I put 3 on each side. And then these are retiring gems. These are called Frosted and Clear Epoxy Droplets. Now there are new droplets coming in, but I'm trying to use up some of my old. It was these, and I used the smaller ones in the centers of each of the flowers, but clearly I have to glue that guy down. And then this is just a tiny little piece of retiring ribbon. Sad about that. And it is the Seaside Spray metallic ribbon in 1/4 inch width. Yeah, that had been in the holiday from 2019. It carried over to this year, but now it's going away, and I'm very sad. But the color is Seaside Spray, so yeah, you know, it was bound to happen. Okay, so let's see what I did. Oh, and this is bumped up on dimensionals, and this is, but the background is glued down, as are the flowers. These two are glued on top this after it was bumped up, and these two are glued down to the gray granite. And inside I just stamped in Seaside Spray the 2 smaller this right here. Which is a little bigger than that in reality. Okay, so only new thing I used was this die out of the Basic Borders dies. These will be available May 4th for customers, and the number will be 155558. They're not part of a suite or anything, they're just back where the dies are. Now, I also use them to do the envelope. It works, but I'm not 100% crazy about it. I used this one here. I was going to try and use that one too, and that might work a little better, but I still don't think it's going to be quite right. So the next few that I did the envelopes also, but I used something that's retired, and I'll tell you what that is when we get to them. So the next one, this is the April host code, by the way. If you'd like to place an order in the US with me as your demonstrator, you can use this host code for any orders up to $150, please. After $150, don't use that host code, because you'll get the rewards free product benefit yourself. So the next one, I again used Hydrangea Haven, but I also brought in Quite Curvy, which is going away. This one is staying. This one is retiring. I'm very sad about that. We don't really have another one that's got the nice curvy viney stuff, and there's 3 in there. Anyway, On this one, I used this die here, which is sort of on top of another one, but it's right there. And I used it on Seaside Spray, and I backed that. Well, let me start over. Seaside Spray card base, Early Espresso 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and Seaside Spray 5 1/4 by 4. And then I ran it through the die here first, and that cut it. And then I ran it through the piece that was left in the other direction, and that cut it. And this is a piece of the designer paper that is the whole length of that. That is this one with the Seaside Spray, Rococo Rose, and Highland Heather. And this is what's on the back. So I thought it's a nice all over pattern. And then I used the little birds are out of Quite Curvy. So what I did is I stamped them in Early Espresso, but right onto gray granite cardstock. So that's where I brought the gray granite in. And then I used my Seaside Spray blends to color their backs very pale blue. I used the Stampin' Chalk marker to add a little white on their little bellies, which I'm not sure I love how that turned out. And I actually did color over their bellies with gray granite light, even though it's on gray granite cardstock, just to see if I could blend this out a little bit more, and I could not. And then their eyes, I had to actually dot a little bit more with, I used the Stampin' right end just to put their eyes a little darker. And I used Mango Melody Stampin' Blend, which is retiring also for some reason, unbeknownst to me, for their little beaks. And then I used the dies. They do have dies in the Quite Curvy right here for 3 birds. Then this, I used Hydrangea Haven. There's a little tiny thank you. And there's also this little tag, and there's also this piece. So I ended up using both of those. And I stamped them in, let me think, Early Espresso. This leaf is out of the Quite Curvy, I think. Pretty sure. And I did that in Early Espresso. And I'm forgetting something. I just had a thought. Anyway, I'll think of it, I'm sure. So I made the birds, oh, the embossing folder I was going to tell you about. Okay, this is one of the mini ones, and one second. It is this one here with the butterflies and flowers, because I thought the shape of those flowers matched what was in the designer paper. And the shape of these leaves really looked like the shape of the leaves in that Quite Curvy. So I wanted a bird to be sitting on a branch looking at the sentiment, and then this one is looking up at this sentiment. Now, I did not use a brad or anything. I did use the carrying over, surprisingly, pastel pearls, and they're in Seaside Spray. And then I also used my very last 2 butterfly gems in Purple Posy, because that goes with this paper. And I just tied a bow over here, which looks like it's coming apart, but it shouldn't be, because it's got several tacks of glue dots on it. And this is bumped up, and this bird is bumped up, but everything else is just glued down. So I hope you can see the detail on there. I love that. I think it's beautiful. And then inside I had a 1-inch strip, and I just cut it into 2 halves because they weren't long enough for a side strip, and I just put the Early Espresso and the designer paper. So there's no gray granite in there, but I have enough of it on the front, I think. So that is the second card. Now on this envelope here, I brought in the retired Ornamental Envelope set. This was from a holiday catalog. I didn't even write on here. Probably last year. And it was the I believe it was the middle one, the middle envelope, and I just feel like that shape works better. So this is why I don't sell things right away, guys. So Linda K here on YouTube, you are rubbing off on me, especially now that we're getting down to the papers are going to retire, and I've got a bunch of them. So I did the envelopes on all these cards, and that one I used the ornamental envelopes, which you cannot get. I'm sorry, it's retired. But Hydrangea Haven is available in the January to June mini catalog, as is Quite Curvy, but this one is last chance. It's going away, which is really, I'm very sad about that. Okay, so I have two other cards, but I switched gears now. So last week I made Mother's Day cards on my live, and I did use this Prize Peony stamp, but I wanted to use all these other dies. So I thought these would be perfect because the peony paper, let me show you what I used, has some gray granite in it. And so for both cards, this is what I used. I did not use the petal pink side. I used gray granite, but I did bring in the other colors. And both cards are about the same, so I'm going to bring them in at the same time. Here they are. So they're both on an Early Espresso card base, then gray granite backing, then the designer paper. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I had a sneeze. And this one is, it's 2.5 by 2 3/4, I think, something like that. I'll have to double check, and I'll try and remember to put those measurements down below. But anyway, well, actually, let's just check right now because I don't want to forget. It is 3 by 2 3/4, and then I used this die across the bottom here. I also, this strip is 3 3/4 by 1 1/4, I think. Let me check that too. Yes. So this is 3 3/4 by 1 1/4, and this is, I already forgot. Whatever I told you a minute ago. And then this piece, but not this one in the Seaside Spray, is run through the Dainty Diamonds embossing folder, which is retiring. It was part of this suite as well, and you can't really see that very well. Anyway, I die cut the 4 pieces you need. I'm not going to take them out, but it's this one, this one, this one, and this one, and then this little thing. But I die cut the 4 pieces to make the Peony Flower out of just Whisper White or Basic White cardstock. I used a finger dauber in Seaside Spray, and I daubed the parts where the openings were to slide the other pieces in. These are very easy to make. It looks a little scary. It doesn't come with instructions. There's tons of videos from demonstrators and things that have shown it. If you would like me to share it again, I can try and do that sometime, but I just don't know when I'll get to that. I think it came out beautiful with the little bit of blue. Who says the peonies have to be pink or white? I mean, the white, I think the blue just makes them pop, and it's a white peony with just a hint of blue. I did use gray granite in the center. I thought about using the Early Espresso, but I thought it was too much, and I didn't want all blue. On this one, I used the Seaside Spray Sparkly Metallic Ribbon. I stamped Thinking of You. Now that came out of the Vine design, which is in the January to June mini, but it won't be carrying over to the new annual. So I just used this Thinking of You right here. That's the only thing I used from that. And because I wanted a long strip sentiment, and that worked. And so that is actually 1/2 inch by 3 3/4. And then these are again the pastel pearls in Seaside Spray. And inside I had an extra strip. So we have, on this one, we have Seaside Spray, Whisper White, where you would use basic white, and a 1/2 inch by 5 inch strip of the paper. And I did line the envelope with the same paper. And now this one, it's pretty much identical, except that I used the gray granite ribbon, which is carrying, shimmer ribbon, which is carrying over in the new annual. And on the inside, I probably shouldn't have done this, but I used gray granite instead of the Seaside Spray, and gray granite is continuing, Seaside Spray isn't. So, and I just see a spot of glue, which drives me nuts. I don't know how that happens. So sorry, I'm gonna get that now because I know if I close it and put it away, I will forget, and I don't want somebody getting a gluey card, right? Boy, I guess I had to take the glue boogers off my glue eraser, huh? Which I got on Amazon, but actually I've seen them in Dollar Tree recently, so yeah. Get your glue eraser at Dollar Tree now, if you're in the States anyway. And same envelope flap. Alright, so those are my 4 cards for the Color Combo collab. I hope you enjoyed that. I had fun this month because I'm trying to use up some paper. I'm very sad to see Seaside Spray go, because actually the more I work with it, the more I really enjoy it. And I'm gonna really miss this ribbon too. I may have to hang on to that for a little while. Alright everyone, please be sure to check everyone else out that's in the collaboration. They'll be linked down below. And I will see you in the next collab. Let's see, this will post on April 30th. So we have 2 collabs that go up on the 1st. They are not Stampin' Up related. So I just come back. One's at like 7 a.m. and one's at 10 a.m. So come back and see what they are. Talk to you soon. Hugs, love, and peace. And thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.